Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary in history at 27, left. The press room stunned with her sharp retort to attacks from Robert De Niro. He calls me a mega puppet. He should look at himself, a washed-up actor just reading scripts and throwing stones from his Hollywood bubble. She fired back at a viral X video from De Niro, where he labeled her a Trump parrot and mocked Trump as America's wrecking ball. Hollywood thought they could take down MAGA's Gen Z star, but they were wrong with her razor-sharp style. Leavitt didn't just respond, she's ready to wipe the floor with De Niro. His video caused a storm, but Leavitt turned it into a dazzling launchpad. With fierce arguments and Gen Z energy, she'll make Hollywood go silent. De Niro won't stand a chance against this counterattack. Get ready, because Leavitt is about to make history with a performance for the ages. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. In a dazzling Los Angeles studio stage, lights illuminated Robert De Niro's face, his eyes sharp as a blade, his deep voice resonating with authority. With the aura of a Hollywood legend, he unleashed a scathing video that spread like wildfire on X, shaking social media. His target was none other than Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary in history, whom he called a mega propaganda machine and a naive Trump cheerleader. But De Niro didn't stop at simple insults. He criticized Leavitt as a symbol of shallowness, a young woman swept up in Trump's web of lies, too inexperienced to handle the complexities of politics. She's Trump's fleeting breeze, he declared, voice dripping with contempt, easily blown away by any political storm. 5-minute video, crafted like a cinematic masterpiece, woven in past moments of De Niro attacking Trump. From calling him a nightmare at an awards ceremony to labeling him more dangerous than a crime boss in a TV interview. But this time De Niro zeroed in on Leavitt, whom he saw as a symbol of modern political decay. He described her as a polished propaganda tool, mindlessly repeating Trump's empty slogans without independent thought. She stands there in her expensive suit reading pre-written speeches, like a third-rate actor in Trump's terrible play. He mocked, emphasizing that Leavitt lacked the stature to represent America globally. De Niro didn't just target Leavitt personally, but also her role in the MAGA movement. He called MAGA a political circus, a movement built on lies and division with Trump as the central clown pulling the strings. He listed what he saw as Trump's failures. His insane policies weakened the economy, divided the nation, and made America a global laughingstock. In particular, De Niro slammed Trump's tariff policies, which Leavitt often praised as an economic disaster, arguing they raised prices and hurt American consumers. Leavitt stands there defending these destructive policies as if she understands them, he said, voice thick with sarcasm. She's not a spokesperson. She's a puppet, jerked around by Trump and his machine. He continued to attack Leavitt's youth, seeing it as a weakness. At 27, she hasn't lived long enough to understand what America needs, De Niro declared. He compared her to seasoned politicians, arguing Leavitt lacked practical experience and was chosen only for her youthful face and script-reading ability. He stressed that the press secretary role demands depth, crisis management, and strategic vision. Qualities he claimed Leavitt never had and never will. He even mocked her style, from her fashionable suits to her use of platforms like Truth Social and X. She thinks posting on social media is politics. He sneered. That's childish, not leadership. De Niro also targeted Leavitt's devotion to Trump, calling it sad blindness. He criticized her return to work just 4 days after giving birth, seeing it as proof she prioritized loyalty to Trump over family and herself. She calls that dedication? He asked, voice full of disdain. No, it's an obsession with a man destroying the country. He portrayed Leavitt as a victim of Trump's machine. A young woman caught in a power spiral without grasping the consequences. She thinks she's saving America, he said. But she's just enabling chaos. De Niro's video wasn't just a personal attack, but a call to action. He urged Americans to wake up to what he called the MAGA threat. We can't let people like Leavitt with her naivety and blind loyalty shape the future, he stressed. He called on his audience, especially anti-MAGA viewers, to share the video using the Norse Solo De Niro fights to spread the message. This isn't just about Leavitt or Trump, he concluded, voice lowering like a warning. It's about saving the American dream from those tearing it apart. Social media exploded as soon as the video dropped, Hollywood fans, especially intellectuals and left-leaning viewers, hailed De Niro as a hero who speaks truth. In her office, soft light illuminated Karoline Leavitt's desk as she intently watched Robert De Niro's attack video. His insults calling her a cheap propaganda machine and Trump a clown only fueled her resolve. Leavitt, a MAGA icon from New Hampshire to Trump's inner circle through media battles, faced the Hollywood giant undaunted. She gathered her advisory team, analyzing De Niro's weaknesses out of touch, only capable of attacks. He calls me a fleeting breeze. She laughed. I'll be the storm. The White House press room doors swung open, and Karoline Leavitt stepped out, flashbulbs blazing like fireworks, lighting up her bold pink suit and sparkling cross necklace. She was MAGA's standard bearer, her eyes burning like a gladiator entering the arena. Reporters from the Wall Street Journal to Newsmax aimed, their cameras the air crackling like a steel forge. All of America, via X and Truth Social, held its breath watching live. Leavitt placed her hands on the podium, fingers tapping rhythmically, her sharp gaze sweeping the crowd. She wasn't here to defend. She was here to reduce Robert De Niro's challenge to ashes. A CNN reporter raised a hand, voice skeptical. Miss Leavitt, De Niro called you a MAGA propaganda machine and Trump a clown. How do you respond? Leavitt smiled, her voice resounding like a hammer. Mr. De Niro thinks I'm a cheap machine, sir. I'm the fire burning through every lie from Hollywood. The room shook, applause from MAGA's supporters erupting. She targeted De Niro, turning his naive and clown jabs into fuel. He says MAGA is a circus. Here's the truth President Trump created, 3. 2 million jobs in his first term, cut taxes for 80% of households, and brought 5,000 citizens home safely. That's results, not a movie. She emphasized the numbers, her voice sharp as a blade daring rebuttal. A New York Times reporter asked, De Niro says you lack experience. What do you have to prove otherwise? Leavitt replied, voice dripping with sarcasm. Mr. De Niro, I respect Goodfellas, but politics isn't the silver screen. You live in a multi-million-dollar mansion disconnected from the working Americans we protect. While you play heroes, Trump is rebuilding the American dream. Laughter spread from conservative audiences to neutral reporters. She landed a Gen Z jab. Want to attack. MAGA, try posting on TikTok instead of hiding in an editing room. The quip lit the fuse, and Chekhov Leavitt Follywood rocketed to top trending with X memes showing a stunned De Niro captioned Karoline MAGA. Superhero Leavitt wasn't just humorous, an MSNBC reporter asked. You defend Trump's tariffs, but De Niro calls them a disaster. How do you explain that? She responded, sharp as a strategist, A 20% tariff on China protected millions of American jobs and brought in $70 billion. That's putting America first. She paused, letting the numbers sink in, then added, Hollywood's busy filming. We're busy building a future for Iowa farmers, Michigan workers, and Texas businesses. Applause erupted, and liberal reporters bowed their heads to take notes. A Fox News reporter asked, De Niro calls MAGA divisive. How do you counter that? Leavitt attacked De Niro's credibility, her voice like a sledgehammer. He calls us a circus. Look at his legacy, violent roles, remarks insulting millions of Americans. That's not truth, it's acting. The word acting pierced De Niro's aura like an arrow. She shared a personal story, voice low with emotion. I grew up in New Hampshire, watching families struggle under failed administrations. I'm here for them, not to perform like De Niro. The audience fell silent, then erupted in fervent applause. The emotion reaching millions online, social media ignited. Leavitt posted a 15-second video on Truth Social mid-briefing, Hollywood can't touch MAGA. The clip hit 2 million views in 10 minutes. Ex-post shared it with comments Karoline made De Niro a laughingstock. Memes spread a stunned De Niro Leavitt is a superhero captioned MAGA whirlwind. MAGA Telegram groups live-streamed calling it the battle of the century. Neutral viewers admitted Leavitt was rewriting the rules. Another reporter asked, What do you say about the American dream? De Niro claims Trump is destroying. Leavitt responded, her voice commanding like a conductor. The American dream. We're living it through policies bringing jobs back, securing borders, empowering people. He calls it a circus. We hold the whip. The audience stood, cheers echoing. She raised a hand for silence, delivering the final blow. Mr. De Niro want a debate, step off the screen. But no, this MAGA doesn't back down. The room exploded, conservative reporters clapping, liberals quietly scribbling Leavitt targeted Hollywood where De Niro is an icon. A CNN reporter asked, "Do you think Hollywood's losing influence?" She replied, "They think they shape opinions, but their time is over. Americans don't need scripts from out-of-touch stars. We need action, like the USMCA saving agriculture energy policies, lowering gas prices and apprenticeship programs for youth. That's the American dream, not Hollywood." Applause thundered, reaching millions watching. A Newsmax reporter asked, "De Niro called you naive. How do you respond?" Leavitt softened her tone but stayed sharp. "Naive. I'm mature enough to know Americans deserve more than empty attacks. I'm here to serve them, not to please Hollywood." The words resonated, moving some audience members to tears. She concluded, "America doesn't need Hollywood's lectures. America needs truth, and MAGA is the flag of truth." Social media hit fever pitch, the X video. Her speech racked up 7 million views in an hour. Karoline Rising overtook #De Niro fights with posts declaring Leavitt turned De Niro into a cameo. Trump posted on Truth Social, "Karoline is a great warrior. Hollywood loses," Tucker Carlson called. Her Gen Z's firebrand Charlie Kirk wrote, "Leavitt taught Hollywood, don't mess with MAGA." Liberal reporters tried to push back, but Leavitt's arguments, data-driven, sincere, were too strong. An MSNBC reporter whispered, "She's redefining the fight." Leavitt turned De Niro's attack into a launchpad. From naive, she became a whirlwind, sweeping away doubt. The press room was her arena. Leavitt, the victor, standing tall under the lights. She proved MAGA's generation has the power to shape the future. De Niro, with his Hollywood glow, was just a shadow against Leavitt's blinding light. As a Truth Social user wrote, "Karoline took down De Niro and the whole system." This battle, as ex-viewers noted, ushered in a new era for MAGA. As Karoline Leavitt stepped away from the podium, applause still thundered, but it was just the start of the real storm erupting online. Her speech video, posted on X minutes later, spread like wildfire, hitting 10 million views in under 2 hours. Every sharp line from the fire burning, "Hollywood's lies to MAGA is the flag of truth," became cannon fire, exploding across platforms. On Truth Social, MAGA supporters turned Leavitt into an icon, calling her the Gen Z queen who crushed Robert De Niro in Hollywood system. Karoline Rising outpaced Imwar's De Niro fights, dominating global trending charts, while Tucker's Leavitt Shallywood became the symbol of the clash between MAGA and the elite ex-users, turned Leavitt's speech into online gems. A 20-second clip of her mocking De Niro with "try TikTok instead" in an editing room was shared millions of times with comments, "Karoline just made De Niro a living meme." Digital artists unleashed creative images. One depicted Leavitt as a warrior with a truth sword standing over Hollywood's ruins. Another showed to bewildered De Niro captioned, "When you think you're the star but Karoline makes you a sidekick." Mega Telegram groups hosted live streams, dissecting her arguments from tariffs to USMCA as if it were a boxing match. Where Leavitt knocked out her opponent in the first round, Truth Social became the main battlefield where MAGA supporters made Leavitt a cultural icon. One user wrote, "Karoline didn't just take down De Niro, she obliterated Hollywood's fake narrative." Another post with tens of thousands of likes compared her to historical figures from Joan of Arc to Karoline Leavitt. Women leading the fight for truth forums like Reddit and Telegram groups buzzed with comments from Leavitt MAGA's future to De Niro. Picked the wrong fight. A prominent account posted her video with epic background music, captioned, "Hurricane Karoline swept Hollywood away." In the video hit 3 million views, spreading to Instagram and TikTok, where Gen Z creators added light effects and mega power text to honor her. Media outlets reacted at lightning speed. Fox News replayed her entire speech with Shan Hannity calling Leavitt the new generation's blazing torch. While Newsmax ran the headline, "Karoline Leavitt, the woman who silenced Hollywood." In contrast, liberal outlets like CNN and MSNBC tried to downplay it. A CNN commentator called Leavitt overly aggressive but was swiftly drowned out by social media backlash, with thousands of X posts mocking CNN calls it aggressive. No, It's truth MSNBC brought in a scholar to defend De Niro, but Leavitt's speech with data on jobs tariffs and her personal story was too ironclad to refute. An ex-user wrote, CNN and MSNBC are trying to save De Niro, but Karoline won by knockout. Meanwhile, prominent MAGA figures rallied behind her. From Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump posted on Truth Social, Karoline Leavitt is a great warrior, Hollywood can't touch her. The post garnered millions of interactions, becoming a focal point for MAGA forums. Tucker Carlson on his show called Leavitt MAGA's Breath of Fresh Air, sharing her speech with the comment, "She just taught Hollywood a lesson in truth," in Charlie Kirk. Turning Point USA founder posted her video with the caption, "Jens is leading and Karoline is the flag." Elise Stefanik, a Trump-aligned congresswoman, wrote on X, "Karoline Leavitt just rewrote history. Hollywood lost. These praises poured. Fuel on the fire, making Leavitt's image shine even brighter." The opposition tried to fight back, but their voices were drowned out. A group of De Niro supporters on X called Leavitt arrogant, but were swiftly countered by MAGA users with clips from her speech. One account wrote, "Arrogant. No, that's confidence. Karoline has data truth, while De Niro just has scripts." Some liberal commentators tried to defend De Niro, claiming he spoke for democracy, but their posts quickly sank under the wave of livid support. A viral Reddit meme showed De Niro with the caption, "When you think you're the godfather, but Karoline turns you into the intern." This Gen Z humor cemented Leavitt's victory, making her the center of online culture. Neutral audiences, initially skeptical, were swept up. An ex-post from someone claiming to be not a Trump supporter wrote, "Got to admit, Karoline Leavitt owned the stage. Her data was solid, and she knew how to connect forums like Quora sprouted threads. Is Karoline Leavitt the future of MAGA?" With hundreds of comments praising her intelligence and sincerity, one user wrote, "She didn't just beat De Niro, she made me want to learn more about MAGA." This shift was proof of Leavitt's influence reaching beyond Trump's traditional base. As Karoline Leavitt became a radiant flag in the social media sky, Robert De Niro, once an untouchable Hollywood icon, now faded into the shadows. His attack video, which had rocked X with millions of views, was now ashes before the hash. Karoline rising storm, his insults calling Leavitt a cheap propaganda machine and Trump a clown destroying the American dream, lost all weight, overwhelmed by Leavitt's razor-sharp press room speech. Public sentiment from Truth Social forums to real-world conversations now mentioned De Niro only as a lost soul, a great actor who picked the wrong stage to fight on. De Niro tried to salvage the situation. 2 days after Leavitt's speech, he posted a lengthy X statement justifying that he only spoke the truth and calling MAGA a threat to democracy. But the response wasn't what he hoped. The post garnered just a few thousand likes, drowned out by millions praising. Leavitt ex-users turned his effort into a joke with a viral comment. "De Niro thinks he's an enraging bull, but Karoline made him a sidekick in a comedy." A flood of memes hit social media. Images of a stunned De Niro captioned, "When you mess with MAGA and get floored by Leavitt." TikTok video, viewed millions of times, spliced De Niro's movie scenes with a dubbed voice. "I was a star until Karoline showed up." De Niro's supporters, mostly Hollywood fans, and liberal intellectuals, tried to revive his image. An Atlantic article praised De Niro as a voice of conscience, but was mocked by MAGA on Truth Social conscience. He just knows how to act. Some celebrities, from actors to directors, shared De Niro's post, but their voices were quickly submerged. An exact account wrote, "Hollywood's trying to save De Niro, but they don't realize Leavitt changed the game." MAGA Telegram groups hosted live streams analyzing how Leavitt turned De Niro from hero to loser, with one host declaring, "Karoline tore down Hollywood's curtain, exposing the emptiness inside De Niro's failure," marked a turning point for Hollywood, which had long seen itself as the center of cultural influence, analyses, and variety, and The Hollywood Reporter admitted Leavitt exposed the elite as weakness. They're disconnected from everyday Americans living in lavish mansions and preaching about the American dream. They don't understand. One journalist wrote, Leavitt, with her sincerity and data, did what Hollywood never could: connect with the heart of ordinary Americans. This truth, who cut like a knife into Hollywood's pride, forcing them to face reality. Their shine is fading before figures like Leavitt, who communicate directly via X and Truth Social. De Niro seemed to retreat from the spotlight. The CNN interview expected to help him regain ground through a meager audience. He tried to defend his stance, but his tired voice and repetitive arguments couldn't match Leavitt's freshness. An ex-commenter noted, "De Niro looks like he lost a fight he didn't know had started." Hollywood producers who once saw De Niro as a cultural hero began distancing themselves, fearing association with him could harm their image. An insider source revealed, De Niro bet his credibility and lost Hollywood's looking for new faces, not old icons. In social media, De Niro's downfall became a punchline. A YouTube parody video depicting De Niro as an outdated movie character defeated by Leavitt's speech hit 5 million views. A TikTok user created a video splicing Leavitt's speech with images of De Niro, fleeing the spotlight captioned, "Hollywood Zero." Karoline 1, forums like Reddit overflowed with threads. Should De Niro stop doing politics, with hundreds of comments agreeing he shot himself in the foot by challenging Leavitt, while De Niro faded into obscurity. Leavitt continued to shine. Hollywood, once an untouchable mountain, now faced a new reality. Commentators began questioning the elite's role in politics, with a Forbes article stating, "Leavitt proved real power lies in connecting with people, not in silver." Screen glamour. De Niro, with all his legacy, was now just a name in Leavitt's victory story. Karoline Leavitt, now rising like a blazing torch, illuminated the path for the MAGA movement. Her resounding press room victory not only dimmed Hollywood's glow, but made her an untouchable icon in the eyes of millions of supporters. In the days following her historic speech, Leavitt didn't rest on her laurels. She dove into work with explosive energy, solidifying her position as a young leader, guiding MAGA's new generation, with a perfect blend of intellect, sincerity, and modern charisma. In a post-De Niro press briefing, she bluntly attacked liberal media, calling them truth twisters, protecting the elite. Her words, live streamed on X, drew millions of views, with users calling her the people's spokesperson. A Truth Social post wrote, "Karoline didn't just take down De Niro, she's challenging the entire media system." This confidence, paired with her striking fashion from a fiery red suit to sleek high heels, made her a cultural icon dubbed MAGA's style queen by young designers on Instagram. Leavitt appeared at MAGA events nationwide, from rallies in Florida to conservative conferences in Texas. At a Miami event, she stood before thousands declaring, "We don't need Hollywood to tell our story. We are the story workers, families, believers in a great America." The crowd erupted, holding signs reading Karoline, 2028. A sign she was not just a spokesperson, but a potential candidate for higher roles. An attendee shared on X, "Karoline is the future. She makes me proud to be." MAGA. Leavitt's appeal wasn't limited to MAGA supporters. She began attracting young voters, previously apathetic about politics. At an Arizona youth forum, she spoke on vocational education and job opportunities, connecting directly with those seeking a future. President Trump created apprenticeship programs, giving millions of young people good jobs, she proclaimed. "That's how we build the American dream." The young crowd cheered wildly, many sharing on X for the first time that they wanted to explore MAGA. One post read, "Karoline made me, a 22-year-old, care about politics for the first time." Meanwhile, liberal media were forced to acknowledge Leavitt's influence. A New York Times article described her as a new threat to the elite, though still critiquing her overly aggressive style. But such criticism only fueled support. An X user responded, "They call Karoline aggressive good because America needs strong leaders." Forums like Reddit sprouted threads. Could Karoline Leavitt run for president, with hundreds of comments predicting she'd be a future political star? Leavitt's journey was a testament to the power of perseverance from her days at the family ice cream shop. She learned the value of hard work and loyalty. Those values, combined with sharp intellect and Gen Z flair, made her an irreplaceable leader. At a Nevada youth conference, she stood before hundreds of young people, her voice resounding, "America doesn't belong to the elite, it belongs to us. Those who dare to stand, dare to fight." The crowd exploded, raising phones to record every word, then sharing on TikTok, with the on-light leads spreading like an unstoppable wave. Political commentators began predicting she'd go further, perhaps as a congresswoman, senator, or even a future presidential candidate. A National Review article called her MAGA's breath of fresh air, forecasting she'd shape American politics in the next decade. Supporters on Truth Social agreed with a post garnering millions of interactions. Karoline Leavitt is the answer to the future. She'll lead us to a greater America. These words weren't just praise. They were a call urging her to continue her mission. In a rare moment amid her hectic schedule, she stood before a mirror in her White House office, her gaze pensive. She thought of the workers in New Hampshire, the families fighting to preserve the American dream. "I'm not doing this for fame," she once shared in a Newsmax interview. "I'm doing it for those who put their trust in us in President Trump and MAGA." Those sincere, simple words spread across X, prompting thousands to share with comments. Karoline is the heart of the movement. Hollywood, once proud of its cultural influence, now faced reality. They were no longer the only voice. Leavitt, with her ability to connect via Truth Social, TikTok, and X, proved true power lies with those close to the people. A Forbes analysis wrote, "Leavitt has changed how politics operates. She doesn't need Hollywood spotlight. He creates her own Gen Z creators." On Instagram, celebrated her with polished videos, splicing images of Leavitt with the American flag, and text the guide for a new generation. Leavitt also sent a message to supporters: keep fighting. In a Truth Social post, she wrote, "MAGA isn't just a movement, it's a promise to America, a promise of freedom, opportunity, and truth." The post, featuring her standing before the White House, garnered 5 million interactions with MAGA, forever spreading across platforms. She urged viewers to share their stories, making MAGA a people's movement. An ex-user responded, "Karoline makes me believe we can change the country." And David was more than a politician. She was a symbol of a transforming America. She represented timeless values, hard work, faith, and patriotism. But she also brought a fresh vibe, Gen Z style, and unmatched connectivity. A TikTok post featuring Live it with the caption, "The future is here," hit 2 million views with comments, "Karoline is who we need to lead." In forums like Reddit, began debating, could Leavitt be MAGA's first female president? An idea once unthinkable, now within reach. The story of Karoline Leavitt and her resounding victory over Robert De Niro deeply reflects the social and political dynamics in the US today, where polarization between conservative values and cultural elites shapes public opinion. Leavitt, a 27-year-old from New Hampshire, overcame De Niro's attacks, a Hollywood icon, by blending data like 2 million jobs, 20% tariffs on China, the sincerity of her family ice cream shop story, and Gen Z style with memes, TikTok, and the soy or Leavitt Falls Hollywood. Her rise on social media with 15 million views. Karoline rising, trending, and De Niro's collapse show the power of direct connection with people, bypassing traditional media in today's US, where platforms like X and Truth Social shape politics. This story underscores that an individual voice, if wielded skillfully, can change the game. Karoline Leavitt's story offers a valuable lesson for Americans today. Harness the power of sincerity and direct connection to make an impact, no matter your background. Leavitt, from a small New Hampshire ice cream shop, had no Hollywood glamour, yet she defeated De Niro by speaking truth with data, like Trump's 2 million jobs, and a heartfelt personal story. In a polarized society where liberal media and elites often control the narrative, learn from Leavitt. Tell your own story, as she did on X and Truth Social, reaching 15 million views. Her success with Karoline Rising shows social media is a powerful tool to connect with communities, from Iowa farmers to Michigan workers. Use TikTok, Instagram, or X to share your values, like Leavitt, with her bold blue suit and cross necklace, becoming a cultural icon. At the same time, she teaches us that perseverance and belief in core values like hard work and patriotism can overcome any criticism. As she turned De Niro's naive jab into a launchpad in real life, learn from Leavitt, stand up, speak truth with confidence, and connect sincerely with those around you, whether you're a student, worker, or entrepreneur. Your story, if told right, can inspire and transform communities, just as Leavitt did with MAGA and America. Subscribe to the channel to follow Karoline Leavitt's brilliant journey and the MAGA movement. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video with even more explosive moments.